Hello and welcome to Let's Play The Forest of Doom by Ian Livingstone, an original fantasy adventure in which you are the hero, complete with combat system, monster encounters and score sheet. Okay, there's the front cover. Really nice artwork. Okay, let's read the synopsis. Part story, part game. This is a book with a difference, one in which you become the hero. Only the foolhardy would risk an encounter with the unknown perils that lurk in the murky depths of Darkwood Forest. Yet there is no alternative, for your quest is a desperate race against time to find the missing pieces of the legendary hammer of Stonebridge, fashioned by dwarfs to protect the villages of Stonebridge against their ancient doom. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to make your journey. You decide which path to take, which dangers to risk, and which monsters to fight. And there's the first 3 books listed there. The cover illustration by Ian McCaig. So props to him. Okay, let's read the first page. Okay, the Forest of Doom. Only the foolhardy or the very brave would willingly risk a journey into Darkwood Forest, where strange twisting paths wind their way into the eerie depths. Who knows what monstrous creatures lurk in the threatening shadows, or what deadly adventures await the unwary traveller. Do you dare to enter? In a desperate race against time, deep within Darkwood, your quest is to find the missing pieces of the legendary hammer of Stonebridge, which was fashioned by dwarfs to protect peaceful Stonebridge against its ancient doom. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to embark on this thrilling adventure of sword and sorcery, complete with its elaborate combat system and a score sheet to record your gains and losses. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. 2 more fighting fantasy gamebooks are published in Puffin, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and the Citadel of Chaos. There we go. Difficult to say that one as a tongue twister. I'll eventually get on to Citadel of Chaos, but for now we're doing Forest of Doom. Okay, The Forest of Doom, illustrated by Malcolm Barter. For Liz and Carroll. First published in 1983. Blimey. Okay. Okay. Let's read the intro stuff. How to fight the creatures of Darkwood Forest. Before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses. You have in your possession a sword and a backpack containing provisions, food and drink for the trip. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. To see how effective your preparations have been, you must use the dice to determine your initial skill and stamina scores. On pages 16 to 19 there is an adventure sheet which you may use to record the details of an adventure. On it you will find boxes for recording your skill and stamina scores. You are advised either, don't like that split infinitive, you are advised either to record your scores on the adventure sheet in pencil or make photocopies of the page to use in future adventures, or use a text document like I am. Okay, so we're going to determine our skill, so roll 1 die, add 6 to this number and enter this total in the skill box on the adventure sheet. Okay, let's roll 1 die with the old dice program, my old friend. Okay. Turn my headphones off a bit. There we go. There we are. Okay. Let's see what we get. No, not too bad. Okay, let's get rid of the buzzing. Okay, so we've got a 4. So let's put that, or rather add 6 to it, and which is 10, and then put that in our skill. Okay, roll both dice. Add 12 to the number rolled and enter this total in the stamina box. Okay, roll both dice. Roll 2. That's pretty good. So we've got 11. So we're going to add 12 to that, which is 23. And that's going to be our initial stamina. Okay. I'll put a comma there and a space because I know it's going to go down. Okay, there's also a luck box. Roll 1 die, add 6 to this number, and enter this total in the luck box. Okay, here we go. Oh, nice. First time as well. Really lucky today. Okay, so we've got 6. Oh no, we had... What do we do? We had 6 to it, don't we? Yeah, so we've got 12 for that. Good. Okay, there's no magic in this one, so I'll just leave that. Okay, let's move on. For reasons that will be explained below, skill, stamina and luck scores change constantly during an adventure. You must keep an accurate record of these scores, and for this reason you are advised either to write small in the boxes or to keep an eraser handy. I'll just write that we have a sword. It doesn't say how many provisions we have yet, so I'll put that in later. Anyway, where was I? You must keep an accurate record of these scores, and for this reason you are advised either to write small in the boxes or to keep an eraser handy. But never rub out your initial scores, although you may be awarded additional skill, stamina and luck points. These totals may never exceed your initial scores, except on very rare occasions when you will be instructed on a particular page. Your skill score reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher the better. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy kingdom you are about to explore. Battles. You will often come across pages in the book which instruct you to fight a creature of some sort. An option to flee may be given, but if not, or if you choose to attack the creature anyway, you must resolve the battle as described below. First, record the creature's skill and stamina scores in the first vacant monster encounter box on your adventure sheet. The scores for each creature are given in the book each time you have an encounter. The sequence of combat is then... That should be thus. Not then. The sequence of combat is thus... roll both dice once for the creature, add its skill score. This total is the creature's attack strength. Roll both dice once for yourself, add the number rolled to your current skill score. This total is your attack strength. If your attack strength is higher than that of the creature, you have wounded it. Proceed to step 4. If the creature's attack strength is higher than yours, it has wounded you. Proceed to step 5. If both attack strength totals are the same, you have avoided each other's blows. Start the next attack round from step 1 above. Step 4. You have wounded the creature, so subtract 2 points from its stamina score. You may use your luck here to do additional damage, see over. Step 5. The creature has wounded you, so subtract 2 points from your own stamina score. Again, you may use luck at this stage, see over. Okay, step 6. Make the appropriate adjustments to either the creature's or your own stamina scores and your luck score if you use luck, see over. Step 7. Begin the next attack round by repeating, or rather by returning to your current skill score and repeating steps 1 to 6. This sequence continues until the stamina score of either you or the creature you are fighting has been reduced to 0, which is death. Okay, escaping. On some pages, you may be given the option of running away from a battle should things be going badly for you. However, if you do run away, the creature automatically gets in 1 wound on you, subtract 2 stamina points as you flee. Such is the price of cowardice. Not really cowardice, is it? It's a tactical retreat. I mean, if you're dying, you're about to die, it's a good thing to retreat. It's not cowardice. That's just stupid. I disagree with that. Note that you may use luck on this wound in the normal way, as see below. You may only escape if that option is specifically given to you on the page. Fighting more than one creature. If you come across more than one creature in a particular encounter, the instructions on that page will tell you how to handle the battle. Sometimes you will treat them as a single monster, sometimes you will fight each one in turn. At various times during your adventure, either in battles or when you come across situations in which you could either be lucky or unlucky, details of these are given on the pages themselves, you may call on your luck to make the outcome more favourable, but beware, using luck is a risky business, and if you are unlucky, the results could be disastrous. The procedure for using your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky, and the result will go in your favour. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you have been unlucky, and you will be penalised. This procedure is known as testing your luck. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 point from your current luck score. Thus, you will soon realise that the more you rely on your luck, the more risky this will become. Using luck in battles. On certain pages of the book you will be told to test your luck and will be told the consequences of your being lucky or unlucky. However, in battles you always have the option of using your luck either to inflict a more serious wound on a creature you have just wounded, or to minimize the effects of a wound a creature has just inflicted on you. If you have just wounded the creature, you may test your luck as described above. If you're lucky, you have inflicted a severe wound and may subtract an extra 2 points from the creature's stamina score. However, if you are unlucky, the wound was a mere graze, and you must restore 1 point to the creature's stamina, i.e. instead of scoring the normal 2 points of damage, you have now scored only 1. If the creature has just wounded you, you may test your luck to try to minimize the wound. If you are lucky, you have managed to avoid the full damage of the blow. Restore 1 point of stamina, i.e. instead of doing 2 points of damage, it has done only 1. If you are unlucky, you have taken a more serious blow, subtract 1 extra stamina point. Remember that you must subtract 1 point from your own luck score each time you test your luck. Restoring skill, stamina and luck. Skill. Your skill score will not change much during your adventure. Occasionally a page may give instructions to increase or decrease your skill score. A magic weapon may increase your skill, but remember that only one weapon can be used at a time. You cannot claim 2 skill bonuses for carrying 2 magic swords. Your skill score can never exceed its initial value unless specifically instructed. Drinking the potion of skill, see later, will restore your skill to its initial level at any time. Stamina and provisions. Your stamina score will change a lot during your adventure as you fight monsters and undertake arduous tasks. As you near your goal, your stamina level may be dangerously low, and battles may be particularly risky, so be careful. Your backpack contains enough provisions for 10 meals. You may rest and eat at any time except when engaged in a battle. Eating a meal restores 4 stamina points. When you eat a meal, add 4 points to your stamina score and deduct 1 point from your provisions. 10 meals, so I better write that down. Sorry, I sort of read that without... It's weird, sometimes you can read a paragraph but read it automatically and not actually take any of it in. That's what I was doing there. So anyway, so I have 10, and then it's like reading a very boring book over and over again. You end up reading the same paragraph again and again and again, and then wondering why you're not turning the page, because you're not taking any of it in. Anyway, but not this book is boring, but this bit is, obviously. Anyway, 4 stamina points and 1 from provisions. Yeah, brilliant. A separate provisions remaining box is provided on the adventure sheet for recording details of provisions. Remember that you have a long way to go, so use your provisions wisely. Remember also that your stamina score may never exceed its initial value unless specifically instructed on a page. Drinking the potion of strength, see later, will restore your stamina to its initial level at any time. Luck. Additions to your luck score are awarded through the adventure when you have been particularly lucky. Details are given on the pages of the book. Pardon me, sorry, yawned. Long day. Details are given on the pages of the book. Remember that, as with skill and stamina, your luck score may never exceed its initial value unless specifically instructed on a page. Drinking the potion of fortune, see later, will restore your luck to its initial level at any time and increase your initial luck by 1 point. You will start your adventure with a bare minimum of equipment, but you may find or buy other items during your travels. You are armed with a sword and are dressed in leather armour. So let's put leather armour down as well. Leather armour. Brilliant. No, spelled that wrong. Armour, there we are. Armour with a U, of course, because that's the correct spelling. Not without a U. Right, okay. You have a backpack to hold your provisions and any treasures that you may come across. In addition, you may take 1 bottle of a magical potion which will aid you on your quest. You may choose to take a bottle of any of the following. A potion of skill restores skill points. A potion of strength restores stamina points. A potion of fortune restores luck points and adds 1 to initial luck. We're going to take the potion of fortune. Let's take that. So, potion of fortune restores luck, and plus 1 to initial value. There we go. New line. Right, okay. New line. Good. These potions may be taken at any time during your adventure except when engaged in a battle. Taking a measure of potion will restore skill, stamina, or luck scores to their initial value, and the potion of fortune will add 1 point to your initial luck score before luck is restored. Each bottle of potion contains enough for one measure, i.e. the characteristic may be restored once during an adventure. Make a note on your adventure sheet when you have used up a potion. Remember also that you may only choose one of the 3 potions to take on your trip, so choose wisely. Don't really think I can choose wisely, because I haven't read the book yet, in theory, so there's no possible way I can know which one is the most useful. So there's no way I can make a wise decision. It's just guesswork. So a little bit stupid there, I think. Okay, hints on play. There is one true way through Darkwood Forest, and it will take you several attempts to find it. Make notes and draw a map as you explore. This map will be invaluable in future adventures and enable you to progress rapidly through to unexplored sections. Not all areas contain treasure. Many merely contain traps and creatures which you will no doubt fall foul. There are many wild goose chase passages, which is red herring, and while you may indeed progress through to your ultimate destination, it is by no means certain that you will find for what you are searching. It will be realized that entries make no sense if read in numerical order. It is essential that you read only the entries you are instructed to read. Reading other entries will only cause confusion and may lessen the excitement during play. The one true way involves a minimum of risk, and any player, no matter how weak on initial dice rolls, should be able to get through fairly easily. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. I don't like that blasphemy. There's only one god. Right. There's the adventure sheet, but we're using a text file. Okay, now for the background. You are an adventurer, a sword for hire, and have been roaming the northern borderlands of your kingdom. Having always spurned the dullness of village life, you now wander the lands in search of wealth and danger. Despite the long walks and rough outdoor life, you are content with your unknown destiny. The world holds no fears for you, as you are a skillful warrior, well practiced in the art of slaying evil men and beasts with your trusty sword. Not once during the last 10 days since entering the northern borderlands have you set eyes upon another person. This does not worry you at all, as you are happy with your own company, and enjoy the slow, sunny days hunting, eating, and sleeping. It is evening, and having feasted on a dinner of rabbit, spit roasted on an open fire, you settle down to sleep beneath your sheepskin blanket. There's a full moon, and the light sparkles on the blade of your broadsword skewered into the ground by your side. You gaze at it, wondering when you will next have to wipe the blood of some vile creature from its sharp edge. These are strange lands, inhabited by weird and loathsome beasts, goblins, trolls, and even dragons. As the flame of your campfire gently dies, you begin to drift asleep, and images of screaming, green-faced trolls flicker through your mind. Suddenly, in the bushes to your left, you hear the loud crack of a twig breaking under a clumsy foot. You leap up and grab your sword from the ground. You stand motionless but alert, ready to pounce on your unseen adversary. Then you hear a groan, followed by the dull thud of a body falling to the ground. Is it a trap? Slowly you walk over to the bush from which, or rather whence, the noise is coming, and carefully pull back the branches. You look down to see a little old man with a great bushy beard, his face contorted with pain. You crouch down to remove the iron helmet covering his balding head, and notice 2 crossbow bolts protruding from the stomach of his plump, chainmail-clad torso. What's the point of the chainmail, then? Doesn't even stop that. Picking him up, you carry him over to the fire and stir the dying embers into life. After covering him with the sheepskin blanket, you manage to get the old man to drink a little water. He coughs and moans. He sits up rigid, eyes staring fixedly ahead, and starts to shout. I'll get them, don't you fear, Gillibrand. Bigleg is coming to bring you the hammer. Oh yes, indeed I am. Oh yes. The dwarf, whose name you presume to be Bigleg, is obviously delirious from the poison-tipped bolts lodged in his stomach. You watch as he slumps down again to the ground, then whisper his name in his ear. His eyes stare unblinkingly at you as he again begins to shout. Ambush! Look out! Ambush! Ah, the hammer! Take the hammer to Gillibrand! Save the dwarfs! His eyes half close and the pain seems to ease a little, and as the delirium subsides he speaks to you again in a low whisper. Help us, friend. Take the hammer to Gillibrand. Only the hammer will unite our people against the trolls. We were on our way to Darkwood in search of the hammer. Ambushed by the little people, others killed. The map in my pouch will take you to the home of Yazstromo, the master mage of these parts. He has great magics for sale to protect you against the creature of Darkwood. Take my gold. I beg you to find the hammer and take it to Gillibrand, my lord of Stonebridge. You will be well rewarded. There's the map. There's Stonebridge. There's Darkwood Forest. There's Yazstromo. Yazstromo's tower, and there's the hills. Looks like a tree, but that's the tower, and that's the forest, the plan of it. Big Leg opens his mouth to start another sentence, but nothing comes out except his last dying breath. You sit down and ponder Big Leg's words. Who is Gillibrand? Who is Yazstromo? What is all the fuss about the dwarfish hammer? You reach over to the still body of Big Leg and remove the pouch from the leather belt around his waist. Inside you find 30 gold pieces and a map. So 30, that's good. That will soon change though, I imagine. And a map which is opposite, so I don't need to write that down because I have access to it all the time. Jingling the coins in your hand, you think of the possible rewards which may await you just for returning a hammer to a village of dwarfs. You decide to try to find the hammer in Darkwood Forest. It's been a few weeks since your last good battle, and what's more, you are likely to be well paid for this one. With your mind made up, you settle down to sleep, having taken back the sheepskin blanket from poor Big Leg. In the morning you bury the old dwarf and gather up your possessions. You examine the map, look up to the sun and find your bearings. Whistling merrily, you head off south at a good pace, eager to meet this man Yazstromo and see what he has to offer. Now turn over. Okay, paragraph 1. Your walk to Yazstromo's takes a little over half a day, and you arrive at his stone tower home, dirty and hungry. As the tower is set back on the edges of Darkwood, some 50 yards away from the path. Yeah, Ian Livingstone loves metric. I don't, I hate it, so I'm using imperial. As the tower is set back on the edges of Darkwood, some 50 yards away from the path you have been following, it is difficult to find. Finally you walk up to the huge oak door, somewhat relieved to find that it does exist, and that Big Leg had not been speaking wildly in his delirium. A large brass bell and gong hang from the stone archway. As you ring the bell, a shiver runs down your spine, and you realize that the loud bong invades a deep silence. Excuse me, yawning again. Invades a deep silence which you had not noticed before. There are no sounds of birds or animals to be heard. You wait anxiously at the door and hear slow footsteps descending stairs from the tower above. A small wooden slot in the door slides open, and 2 eyes appear and examine you. Well, who are you? I'll say that again. Well, who are you? Demands a grumpy voice through the hole. You answer that you are an adventurer in search of the Master Mage Yazstromo, intending to purchase magical items from him in order to combat the creatures of Darkwood Forest. Oh, well, in that case, if you are interested in buying some of my merchandise, you had better come up. I am Yazstromo. Okay, the tower is set back on the edge of Darkwood, some 50 yards away from the path. There we go. There's the tower. The metric system does not... Firstly, I hate the metric system anyway. Obviously, that's one thing for which I respect America. They haven't officially adopted it. I respect that immensely. And secondly, the metric system just doesn't sort of mesh well with the sort of the sort of medieval fantasy thing going on here. It just sounds awkward. It doesn't sound natural. It sounds forced, which is in my opinion, what the metric system is. It's just sort of artificial and forced. But enough of my opinions on that. Anyway, he then turns and slowly climbs the stone stairs. Will you follow him? Will you follow him up the stairs? Turn to 261, or draw your sword and attack him. Turn to 54. Excuse me, I'm just going to get something. There we go. I just reached over. I now wear glasses, and I'm going to wear glasses because I'm leaning back and I can't see the computer screen very easily. So, glasses on. Ah, that's better. Now I can see. Anyway, what was I going to do? Anyway, will we follow him? Will we follow him up the stairs, turn to 261, or will we draw your sword and attack him? Yeah, what a great idea. Now let's go to 261. We're going to follow him up the stairs. Here we go. Yeah, I've been wearing glasses for about a year now. So, but only when I need to see something far away. So the computer screen, I'm leaning back on the chair, so the computer screen's relatively far away, and the PDF document, the words are a little bit blurred because I'm short-sighted a bit. Anyway, you follow the huffing and puffing old man in his tattered robes up the spiral staircase to a large room at the top of the tower. Shelves, cupboards, and cabinets line the walls, all filled with bottles, jars, weapons, armour, and all manner of strange artefacts. Nostromo shuffles past the general clatter and slumps down in an old oak chair. He reaches into his top pocket and pulls out a fragile pair of gold-rimmed spectacles. Oh, what a coincidence. Except mine aren't gold-rimmed, unfortunately. They're made out of plastic. Placing these on his nose, he picks up a piece of slate and chalk from a table next to his chair and begins to write frantically. He then hands you the slate. Okay, so we have lots of things here. So we've got potion of healing for 3 gold pieces, potion of plant control, 2 gold pieces, potion of stillness, 3 gold pieces, potion of insect control, 2 gold pieces, potion of anti-poison, 2 gold pieces, holy water, 3 gold pieces, ring of light, 3 gold pieces, boots of leaping, 2 gold pieces, rope of climbing, 3 gold pieces, net of entanglement, 3 gold pieces, armband of strength, 3 gold pieces, glove of missile dexterity, 2 gold pieces, rod of water finding, what do they call it, dowsing rod, that's it, yeah. God, that takes me back. I used to read, when I was very little, I used to read these books on the supernatural, these children's books about supernatural stuff, and I remember reading books about dowsing rods. You know, this bloke walks around with a stick, and when it twitches and the rod moves upwards, it means there's water underneath or something. I mean, it could work, but the more unbelievable one was someone with like this weird pendulum thing swinging over a map, and if it swung more, then that meant there was something buried there, but that's just a map. How would that work? So I don't get that at all. Anyway, rod of water finding, yeah, dowsing rod, that's what they call it. 2 gold pieces for that. Garlic buds, 2 gold pieces. Headband of concentration, 3 gold pieces. Fire capsules, 3 gold pieces, and nose filters, 3 gold pieces. He tells you that all the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items, together with their suggested use. He sighs and tells you that unfortunately the magic in the items only works once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. Okay. Oh yes. If you decide to buy any of them, pay for them by reducing the amount of gold on your adventure sheet and add the items to the relevant sections on it. Nostromo then asks you the reason for your purchase of the items, and you tell him your story and your decision to continue the quest of the luckless Big Leg. Ah, yes, Nostromo says, slowly rubbing his chin. I heard that the good dwarfs of Stonebridge had lost their fabled warhammer. Without it, their king is unable to arouse his people, despite the fact that the hill trolls threaten their village. Rumour has it that an envious king of another village of dwarfs sent an eagle to Stonebridge to steal the hammer, which it managed to do, but as it flew back over Darkwood, it was attacked by death hawks, and the hammer dropped into the forest and was lost. Apparently 2 forest goblins found the hammer, but could not decide who was to keep it. They wrestled for hours, but gave up. Then they discovered that the handle unscrewed from the head, and the argument was settled. One kept the head, the other kept the handle. Then they parted, each happy with his new treasure. Who knows if they still have them, so I'm afraid your problems are are doubled. I can tell you that the head is made of bronze and the handle is made of polished ebony. Both head and handle have the letter G inscribed on them. Your task is not easy. Good luck. You thank your Nostromo and leave the room by the spiral staircase, turn to 177. Anyway, we're going to buy something. We're going to buy holy water, glove of missile dexterity, armband of strength, and garlic buds. So, holy water, that's 3. Glove of missile dexterity, that's 2. That's 5 in total. Armband of strength, that's 3, so that's 8 in total. And then the garlic buds, another 2, so that's 10 gold pieces in total. So let's subtract that now. And then add those things to our possessions. What do we get? We got holy water. Yeah, holy water. Glove of missile dexterity. Armband of strength and garlic buds. Garlic buds. I said bus, I mean buds, you silly sausage. Right, okay, I'm talking to myself. Obviously I'm the silly sausage. That's Prince Philip's, that's one of Prince Philip's nicknames for the Queen, you know. He calls her sausage, apparently. Anyway, let's move on. So we're going to go to 177. Okay, outside in the bright light you notice the dead quietness again. A narrow path leads northwards from the tall grass surrounding Nostromo's tower into the dense undergrowth of Darkwood Forest. In a few strides you are surrounded by the dark and tangled forest. Stones and knotted roots seem to hide in the shadows, and you can almost believe that they are trying to trip you up. The light fades quickly and the air becomes moist and unpleasant. Deeper and deeper you go into the gloom. Eventually the path forks on either side of a huge old tree. To go west, turn to 289. To go east, turn to 160. We're going to go east, 160. The narrow path continues to cut its way through the tangled forest. Strange animal cries and noises echo through the trees. At last the path widens to approximately a metre across. Soon you arrive at a moss-covered wooden signpost, on top of which sits a large crow. I remember this when I last did this book. The arms of the signpost read north and east. Just as you are deciding which way to continue, you hear the words, "Good afternoon." You look up in the direction of the voice and see the crow looking down at you inquisitively. "Good afternoon," you reply slowly, feeling a little foolish. The crow speaks again, asking which way you are headed. You reply that you are looking for 2 goblins, small sinewy creatures. There's the crow himself. You arrive at a moss-covered wooden signpost on top of which sits a large crow. There he is. Small sinewy creatures with brown scaly skin. 1 gold piece will buy my advice, states the crow confidently. Will you pay the crow for its advice? Turn to 243, ignore the crow and turn north. Turn to 8, ignore the crow and carry on eastwards. Turn to 239. We're going to ignore the crow and turn north. So turn to 8. I can't resist, even though my instructions that I have written down instruct me to ignore the crow and turn north, I'm going to pay for the advice anyway. Let's go to 343. You put the gold piece on top of the signpost as requested by the crow, because I feel sorry for the crow, really. It's only 1 gold piece. I'll get more, hopefully. Or I hope, but hopefully doesn't mean to do something in a hopeful manner. It means, no, that's what it does mean. It doesn't mean that. When I say, if you say hopefully, it should mean I look at, say for example you're asking someone for money, you'd look at them hopefully. You know, you look at them with because you'd be full of hope. You don't do something hopefully, because it's not the right meaning, apparently, according to the dictionaries that I've read. So yeah, I should really say I hope to get more gold at some point. Anyway, you put the gold piece on top of the signpost as requested by the crow, after which it says, "Go north." You ask the crow why it needs gold pieces, and it replies that it needs 30 gold pieces to pay Estromo to turn it back into a human again. You bid the crow farewell. If you want to turn north as advised by the crow, turn to 8. If you'd rather continue eastwards, turn to 239. Anyway, so we're going to go 8. Walking along the path, you hear footsteps and arguing voices ahead of you. If you wish to meet their owners, turn to 317. If you'd rather hide in the bushes to let them walk by, turn to 392. We're going to hide in the bushes, so turn to 392. As you crouch in the bushes off the path, the voices get louder. Then 2 pairs of spindly legs and tattered cloth shuffle past you quickly, kicking up dirt and dust. The voices soon fade away into the distance. You step out onto the path again and press on northwards, turn to 157. Yeah, they were nasty. To the left of the path you notice a large hole in the ground with a diameter of some 3 yards. Walking over to the edge of the hole, you see it sloping off into the depths of the earth. If you wish to walk down into the hole, turn to 125. If you prefer to continue walking northwards up the path, turn to 337. We're going to continue walking northwards, so turn to 337. What's in that hole can't be good. At last the trees begin to thin out and shafts of sunlight beam down through the gaps on either side of the path. As the path widens, you see a large cave entrance set a few yards back on the right. See, now it's using yards. Why isn't it meters? If you're going to use a measuring system, make sure you stick to it. Why is he using a... I just don't get this. You know, if you want to use meters. I still call them yards, but even though yards are a little bit smaller, I think there's 0.99, no, 93 something, or 96 something yards in a meter. Actually, I should have the information at hand. Let's settle this. I have a... Oh, here we go. And just take my glasses off because it's reading. Feet to meters, 0.3048. So that's how many feet there are in a meter. So multiply that as 3 feet at a yard. So yards to meters is going to be... Oh, here it says yards to meters already, yeah. So 0.9144 yards in a meter. Yep, so it's just over 9/10 of a meter. So 3048 times 3 should be 9144. Does it? 48 times 3? That's going to be 24 times 6, isn't it? Which is going to be 120 plus 24, which is 144, yeah. So 0.3048 times 3 is 0.9144. Yep, that makes perfect sense. Good. Excellent. Yep, so 0.9144 yards in a metre. Anyway, that's that sorted. Anyway, where was I? At last the trees begin to thin out and shafts of sunlight beam down through the gaps on either side of the path. As the path widens, you see a large cave entrance set a few yards back on the right. If you want to examine the cave, turn to 230. If you want to continue northwards up the path, turn to 358. We're going to examine the cave, go to 230. Slowly, you peer into the cave and see the huge shape of an ogre walking slowly over to a wicker cage with a bowl of water in his great hand. He is dressed in animal furs and carries a stone club in his belt. There appears to be a small creature jumping around inside the cage. You may pick up a rock and throw it at the ogre, turn to 137, rush in and attack the ogre with your sword, turn to 290, leave the cave and continue up the path, turn to 358. We're going to throw a rock at the ogre. So 137. And speaking of the ogre, there he is. What a friendly fellow. Anyway, where are we going? 137. If you possess a glove of missile dexterity, turn to 55. If you do not, turn to 10. I do have one. Good. Let's turn to 55. That's where we got the glove of missile dexterity. You reach into your backpack and pull out the purple silk glove. It fits snugly on your hand. Then you bend down and pick up a good-sized rock and take aim. You throw the rock with all your might at the ogre, and it flies like an arrow to hit him on the side of the head, knocking him unconscious. The creature in the cage jumps around even more frantically than before. Do you take a closer look at the creature in the cage? Turn to 168. Search through the contents of the cave. Turn to 313. Leave the cave immediately and continue northward. Turn to 358. We're going to get a closer look at the creature in the cage. So turn to 168. Inside the cage, a small sinewy creature with brown scaly skin is jumping up and down. He is a goblin. Round his neck hangs a black shiny rod on a leather cord. If you want to unlock the cage door, turn to 117. If you want to leave the cave and continue northwards, turn to 358. We're going to unlock the cage door, 117. But what's inside? It's not going to be nice. Yep, it's a battle. You unlock the door and step back, drawing your sword in case the goblin tries to attack you. He picks up a wooden stool and, waving it in the air, kicks the door open and charges at you, screaming. You must fight. Goblin skill 5, stamina 4. If you win, turn to 232. Okay, and I will do that battle in the next video. So I'll just write in here goblin. Delete that, there we go. Skill 5, stamina 4. And I'll deal with that battle next time. I'll just say I'm on paragraph 117. There we go. So that's that. And then I'll end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. I know I haven't done a video in a while. That's because lots of things have changed in my life. And now I am extremely busy. Pretty much all the time. For various reasons. So unfortunately videos are going to be more of a scarcity these days, at least for the foreseeable future. And regardless, I checked out one of my videos I did ages ago, Heroes of the Lance, and yes, I am really Heroes of the Lance on the Sega Master System, and yes, I am really critical of the game in that video. It has 7 dislikes, I think because I'm very critical, because the game is awful, because it is. It's not fun, and it has a special sort of contempt in my heart, because when I was little or younger, it was one of the few games I had. My brother swapped one of our games with one of his friends for Heroes of the Lance, and we were really excited to get some new games. And we got that, Heroes of the Lance, and we were all disappointed because it was so bloody awful. And so I am very critical of it. But yeah, so that's probably why. But the video will stand. My opinions are valid of that game. I will not change the video or take it down. Heroes of the Lance is a terrible game, although I do like the music of it and the general atmosphere. That is good. It's just such a shame that the game is virtually unplayable. The game is only completable if you just run through it without actually picking anything up or battling any creatures, and just using magic on all the enemies. And the end boss is ridiculous, and the fact that when you try to battle enemies you die really quickly, and they all turn into gravestones one by one in a matter of seconds. And apart from that, the atmosphere of the game and the graphics are excellent, and the music is excellent. It's so let down by the gameplay. That's the trouble. So that's what annoyed me about that game. It looks good, but when you actually play it, you realise how disappointing it is. I mean, at least a game like Cyber Shinobi, it looks awful and plays awful, so you know it's awful. And a game like Transbot, but Heroes of the Lance sort of draws you in like a siren singing a beautiful song, drawing in ships to crash on rocks. Here as the lance draws one in, and makes one feel as if one is about to play a good game, when one is only going to be disappointed. So yeah, so watch that video of Here's the Lance if you wish. I think it was the first video I did that was on this laptop, which was then my new laptop, which I've now had for over 3 years. So this was the first video that I did. That was the first video I did on this laptop. Because I remember I made the video too big. The resolution was too big, and when I uploaded it, YouTube said it was HD. And I thought, how's it HD? It's Master System. But it's just because the video was... I didn't know the settings of Ice Cream apps, screen recorder very well, so I made the screen really, really big. Anyway, yeah, so I was a bit annoyed to see I got lots of dislikes, but I mean, again, people ask for Master System games, and I did all of Ys, which wasn't easy, Ys the Vanished Omens, and you know, it doesn't have many likes. And I did Renegade, which I thought was a good video. I did of Renegade. I was pleased with that because I completed it without dying, on hard mode as well, and didn't get many likes. But yeah. So yep, I hope to be able to do some more game books, do Forest of Doom, and maybe Citadel of Chaos back to back or something. I don't know, because for some reason I don't know why people love these. I just, I say this every time, when I first did Warlock of Firetop Mountain, I did it just because I wanted to do that book, and I just wanted to see, because no one had ever done something like this before, and me reading books in my monotone voice, and using an ancient dice program, and writing on a text file, and reading out PDFs of these books from the 80s is surprisingly entertaining for some people. I thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching. And on that note, I shall end the video. So thanks for watching, and goodbye. I'll see you in the next part.